Why wasn't the cop who solicited sex from Larry Craig charged with soliciting sex? He did the same thing that Senator Craig did. Tapped his foot, moved his foot over, which for some strange reason in Minneapolis apparently means you want to have sex. Shouldn't he have been charged?
I have never heard this perspective. We heard the tape of Craig being interrogated after his arrest.
Yes, I heard the tape as well. Yeah,
and your take was different than anybody else I heard.
Well, here's my take. One, the police have better things to do than sit on toilets and tap their feet. Their job is to protect the public from crime. Two is, how could it possibly be a crime to ask somebody to have sex with them? If the question is, would you have sex with me right here in this bathroom? That's a request to engage in a consensual act. If the other person says no, that's the end of it. How can that possibly be a crime? I'll tell you what a crime is. A crime's going to a den of ill repute in Washington, D.C. or New Orleans 5 or 6 times and paying for sex. Each of those acts is a felony. Senator Vitter was not indicted. Senator Vitter is still Senator Vitter. Why does he still have a Senate seat and Larry Craig does not? How could tapping your foot and moving your foot in a bathroom possibly be a criminal act? And if it is, the cop did the same thing. The cop tapped his foot, and the cop moved his foot over. Now, the cop will say, well, I wasn't intending to have sex with him. I just wanted to see what his response was. That's the same thing Senator Craig said. I was never intending to have sex because I don't have sex with men, and I don't have sex with anybody in public bathrooms. But the whole situation is a disaster with respect to law enforcement and the proper role of what cops should be doing.
So you're going to be one of those lawyers, if you had this case, that said, I could easily get this disorderly conduct tossed out, but you could not have kept it out of the press.
Oh, no, there's no way to keep it out of the press.
Craig would have lost. He would have lost had he won.
You arrest a senator, no matter what it is, whether it's murder or toe tapping, it's obviously not going to stay out of the press. In fact, it's beyond me that it stayed out of the press as long as it did. We should have known about it immediately. He should have conferred with a lawyer who would have said, you couldn't possibly get convicted for a disorderly person's offense. Disorderly person's offense means your behavior was so disruptive to those around you that they couldn't do what they were legally there to do. What's that? Go to the bathroom? It wasn't disrupting anybody. So it wasn't a disorderly person's offense.
You can't have sex in a public bathroom. Is that true?
That is correct. It's illegal to have sex in a public bathroom. It can't be illegal to ask for it. That's simply words. And words are protected. Congress shall make no law, and the states shall make no law, abridging the freedom of speech. In this case, they didn't even use words. They used some kind of a bizarre, obscure toe tapping that only the cop says to him means, do you want to have sex with me? Suppose he had his iPod on, and he was tapping to Beethoven's Ninth. I mean, should he have been arrested for that?
Yes. Because you should not be listening to the classical music in the lavatory. But that's an interesting point. I just assume, put it this way, if you're the Michigan police, you have a detective, you have an elaborate sting set up. Why would you set up a sting that you're framing out to be so legally flawed?
Frequently, stings are not well thought through. Frequently, they are set up not by prosecutors who know the law, but by cops who are out to send a message to the local community, whatever the nature of the sting may be. I can remember in New Jersey when the cops were trying to get rid of drunk driving, they just set up roadblocks and they just stopped people for no reason. In one roadblock, they stopped over 1 million cars, came to a complete stop for 4 hours. Nobody who was interrogated or arrested was convicted because the roadblock was illegal, because they didn't check with the prosecutors who would have told them, you can't do that. You have to have a reason for stopping the car. You can't just stop everybody. Same thing here. You just can't go in a bathroom, tap your toe, and arrest somebody who taps along with you. That's not a crime.
All right.
The lines of communication are open both ways. You're a part of it with Brian and the Judge on Fox News Talk.